Eagles Nation, what up? Tough week, very tough week. I've been saying there was one game that I did not want to lose. And that game was to Jonathan Ganyas. And guess what? Just like they've done most other weeks since the good start, they let me down. They ain't just let me down. They let us all down. In my opinion, they let each other down. You know what I'm saying? There was no reason for you to not stop that team from scoring one time. There's a lot of drama, a lot of talk about, AJ Brown, we're going to get into that, and the defense. But I want to point out the offense is not producing like it was last year. And not only is it not producing, it's not running the ball, it's not sustaining drives. So while you want to go and just say it's the defense, I'm not saying the defense is without blame. Do not get me wrong. Do not misquote me. But offense is supposed to be the bread and butter. The defense is supposed to maintain. The defense is supposed to bend but not break. It's supposed to hold team to field goals, get some stops, and then do its thing. When one half is not doing their job, it's going to make the other half look bad if their whole process is predicated on the other half performing correctly. And again, I'm not leaving anybody out of the blame. I'm just saying don't dare try to act like this is a one-sided thing, because it's not. But before I get up on my soapbox for real, because right now this is comments you're gonna hear me tonight. Let me go ahead and get the squad up here. What up, Wyatt?
What's going on, man? It sucks we gotta be talking about the team in this current state, with as many wins as we have. But I was surprised you didn't lead off with the, they are who we thought they were video, like like you would normally do in this situation. But yeah, there's a lot to get into this week.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Diva, what it do?
Man, we back for another week, another disappointing week. We definitely got a lot to talk about. Basically, the same things we've been saying all season. It's finally just catching up with the coaching staff, as y'all see. But I think it's bigger than that. But we're gonna get into that.
And we got a returning guest. Key, what up? In the building.
Man, I would love to come up here on a somber note, but it is what it is. But that's all I can say. I just can't say. You just can't say much. Just
Hey, it was a lot to get into. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just do it like this. A couple of things, of course, we have to talk about, right? So let's start off where we would normally start off, my good people, and that's gonna be Eagles updates. If I can unfreeze here, there we are. So Wyatt, there's been a couple of updates. Got anything for us?
Yeah, pretty much the only good news we're going to be talking about tonight is the announcement of the Pro Bowlers for the Philadelphia Eagles. We have 6 Pro Bowlers here. DeAndre Swift, this is his first Pro Bowl. AJ Brown, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson. Those couple, are expected, and of course Hassan Reddick as well. It's great to have 6 Pro Bowlers. We were talking before we hopped on the show here, like, well, how is Jake Elliott not on this list by any means? He's won us a handful of these games this year by himself. So it's like I don't understand how he's not on
by
there.
himself. Agreed. Completely agreed. All right, so we got through that. Any other news? Anybody got any other news or updates? Want to slide out before we keep it moving?
Well, we're glad Devontae is off crutches and out of a walking book. So that's good news.
Yeah. They're saying he's had like an ankle sprain, but I guess he's in good spirits. They're saying he doesn't seem like he has a limp or anything.
That is definitely very good. Keela, you got something to say?
I had something, but then I lost it. Oh, I guess everybody's back healthy. I guess that's a plus. Slay.
So they say.
Cunningham. I guess that's okay.
What about Avante? Anybody heard any
he's
news?
good.
He was limited.
He played
today in
some
practice.
Yeah. He played some last week too. Get his feet wet.
Oh, we know, but he left holding
I
that
don't
on.
like. I don't like the fact that we cut Roby. I felt like we should have kept Roby. I don't like that, but
They
there's
should
some things
have eased Devontae in and not just completely put him in all the way.
Exactly.
You know, who are we?
clearly we're not heard by the team. Clearly,
Yeah. I mean, you put Avonte Maddox, who's somewhat injury prone, back in on his first week, and you don't have his backup active to be there in case he gets hurt, which he did. So you
He
don't
did.
have Roby active, and then you use that spot that he could have had for Rashad Penny, who didn't even see a single snap this game. So what was the point of even activating him when you really needed somebody else on the defense to help out? This is mismanagement. This is
We're gonna
coaching
talk about-
malpractice at its
we're going
finest.
to talk about that too because I have some thoughts on that. So we'll definitely be discussing that. But before we do, there's one thing that needs to be said.
Or who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Thanks, Coach.
So I definitely wanted to get that in. The most disappointing loss of the season for me. We're going to get into it. But first, we got to do this.
The kick is away, and the kick is it's good! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
So we got a comment here, our good people. We got my boy Vic in the building. What up, Vic?
What's going on?
All right. So we're gonna do it like this. We don't need no full screen or nothing. We're gonna do it real simple, real here. We're gonna talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, what we've been seeing, and how we feel about them. So, Key, you are our guest. So we're gonna start with you. Talk to us about anything from this game or that you've been seeing throughout the season that you feel was amplified or manifested or proven within this contest that we had this past week, this embarrassment of a game.
Pretty much what we've been talking about all season. Play calling, coaches not knowing what they're doing. Of course, players not being productive, not finishing plays, not tackling, not playing smart. It's just a plethora of everything. We say even in wins, as y'all 10-0. Why y'all upset? Do you not see how we've been playing? This is the most stressful 11-win team I've ever seen in my life. I've never been so stressed as an Eagles fan, and we got 11 wins and we're in the playoffs. Never been this stressed out before. The team drives you to drink every week. Every week. Again, special teams was our difficulty last year. We ain't talking about them this year. That they the best. They off the hook. We don't gotta talk about Jake in the special teams because he's clutch. But we don't put him in positions to be clutch either. We want to go for the home run or go swing for the fences already. Why aren't we just doing little baby steps? But the coaching staff got Jalen looking like he don't know how to play football at all. The defense got us looking like this wasn't the top 2 defense last year, the way we're playing this year. It's high school stuff. My son's high school football team is better than this team, and they was 3-8 last year. That has to tell you something. Whenever another team can figure out what you're running, that's a problem. It's an issue. We got quality running backs. We had Rashad Penny, who we picked up for $1 million. We could have saved our $1 million and did something else with that. We could have gave it to charity. We could have fed the homeless, give it back to the schools. But y'all got this man sitting on the sidelines collecting his $1 million. I'm sure he's not mad that he's collecting the money, but he's not productive. What was the point of getting Rashad Penny if we're not going to use it? 2 carries this man had all season. 2 carries. 2 carries. You bring up Vontae Maddox back. He wasn't ready. He's fresh off an injury. He's not ready to be in the game situations. Limit his snaps. Penny could have been a healthy scratch, as he always is, and we could have had Roby in there just for a backup. And what happened? Maddox gets hurt again. And who was his backup? Nobody. I'm tired of hearing, "Oh, I gotta do better." We all know Nick is covering up for everybody as we're getting to the whole AJ Brown situation. Nick is covering from everybody, and good and bad in the situation, but he's taking all the heat, and that's not good at all. So, I mean, I'm happy that AJ held himself accountable. Finally, some players stepped up and said, "It's me. We got to do better." I'm still waiting for Jalen to not be so poetic and philosophical. I just need him to snap just one good time. But it's the same stuff. Do I think we'll beat the Giants? It's a 50-50 chance we'll beat them. But there's nothing else more we can say that either I'm up here or y'all up here every week that we say the same thing. It's a broken record. Say it over. And it's like you're yelling at your kids. You tell them something, they just keep doing it. And then when they get hurt, you don't got no sympathy for them. That's kind of how it is. We keep saying the same thing over and over. We're tired of saying it. So until we see some, y'all got to show me now, because all this talking, y'all ain't doing it. So you got to show us now. We all make a run in the playoffs with this a flip of a switch. Let's hope. But if y'all gonna play like this into the playoffs, you're gonna be the first one on the couch, and we gonna be in charge of the snacks for the rest of the playoffs. That's pretty much I got.
Diva, I know you have a lot to say.
So I'm gonna start with the top, because this comes from the top. It's no way that you had a Super Bowl team that played as hard as they played, and you allow Nick to talk you in to letting Brian Johnson be the offensive coordinator because he has been with Jalen since he was young, or known Jalen for a very long time. So, and then he was his quarterback coach for 2-3 years. Okay. So you knew Nick wanted to take over the offense without telling you want to take the offense over. And you knew that Nick did not know how to call any type of offensive creative play. That's why you went in there, you got Steichen. You went in there, you got Gannon. But when I'm hearing from multiple sources that the top is telling the defense not to blitz, and I believe it, because you got to look at Jim Schwartz era. You got to remember what Jim Schwartz did in Detroit. Then he comes to Philly, and he's playing all this soft zone, like defense was horrible. Then he goes to the Browns and doing the exact same thing that he did in Detroit that he did do in Philly. The only person that had control of the defense was Buddy Ryan, which he was a horrible offensive coach. And then you had Jim Johnson. Since Jim Johnson, the Philadelphia Eagles has not had a solid D. We've had good D, but we have not had solid D. Now, where all of a sudden it come from where you don't want your defense to blitz? Make that make sense. Then Howie, on the hindsight 2020, you really didn't replace what we lost. You got some good draft picks, and I'm tired of our draft picks being dragged. First of all, Jalen Carter has played way more and played really well. My boy's tired. Like, they played just about the whole season with no depth. Y'all got to remember, we have no depth. So for y'all to go call out Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, when he has done wonderful, like y'all ain't talking about Sue being big. Big ain't got nothing to do with the boys' play. He didn't play well. He's tired. He's not used to playing these types of snaps because you have no depth. So it comes from the top. Y'all got to understand, Philadelphia, the top is analytics. It's not about – that's why we only have one Super Bowl ring. Because it's about analytics. It's not about actually going out and let them players play and do what they do, let the coaches coach like they supposed to. Because if y'all don't know, that's why Doug Henderson got fired, because he wanted to go get his own personnel, and Howie didn't like that. Jeff Lurie did not step in and say, hold up. This man just won a Super Bowl. This man just turned Nick Foles' career around. So it comes from the top, and I need for all Philadelphia Eagles fans to get off the players. Yes, Nick is fault, but Nick is a yes man because they want yes men, and that comes from people from Philadelphia that is around these people way more. We're just fans. So I need for y'all to go. It comes from the top. It comes from your owner, and it comes from your GM. Now to Nick and these silly plays, like why would you call 2 quarterback draws and it's 1st and 20? Why? You have multiple options, and why is Gainwell in the game on that play? You could have used, why are you not using Swift on that play? I guarantee you that boy would have got you 10 of those yards. You can't tell me you couldn't have went and got the second down?
First time Pro Bowler DeAndre Swift, by the way.
You see what I'm saying?
And he's held back. He still made the Pro Bowl.
Wait. Also, first time 1,000 yards.
1,000 yards. You got 3,000 yard players on your team, and you don't know how to use them? We know Brian Johnson don't know. And we know you don't know. You got your quarterback out here throwing all types of interceptions. Why? Because you're not being smart about how you're using him. Jalen, I'm telling you, that knee is not right still. You continuously make that boy run. You put him in situation. He didn't been blitzed more than any quarterback in the NFL. You are trying to put that boy out for the rest of the season. He can't even be what he's supposed to be because, y'all, Jalen is an awesome quarterback, but you cannot always depend on his talent. It's like they called him 6 plays, and the rest they like, Jalen, go figure it out. You got talent, go figure it out. And I remember a coach that got fired for doing that. So it starts with Nick. Then your defense is vanilla. You knew you shouldn't have went and got Sean Desai. Like, don't get me wrong, he did all right, but it wasn't no. I want y'all to feel the defense through the TV. Never felt that. I don't even think it shook. And then you go and you flip to Matt Patricia, and they look more confused this week than ever. Your linebackers, though, they not sliding where they supposed to be sliding. They standing there. They just grabbing. They barely even grabbing at the person that's running. They might swipe at them. What happened to the days where you pick them up and you put your shoulder and you lay them down?
Or at least put a shoulder into them. Lay
Something.
them.
Y'all ain't doing nothing.
Get in front of them, not swing your arms at them. Something.
Like, if y'all didn't want to play Sunday, y'all should have said something.
Facts.
Because the defense did not play. Y'all could not get off the field. Them mugs did not punt one time.
Facts.
And this is the 3-12 team that had nothing to play for.
Facts.
This was not the game to come in and not play.
Facts.
At all. Like, we should have blew them out the water.
Facts.
And then you settle for a 3-point when all you had to do was get a touchdown because you know your defense ain't stopped nothing all game. Them mugs was on the dang on field for almost 2 quarters, y'all.
39 and a half minutes.
Some
Almost
of these
40
players,
minutes.
And then
Over
y'all
half
had
the game.
Kyler Murray out there looking like we got all these backup and quarterbacks that ain't nothing looking like they are awesome. We don't even know half the people that he was throwing to on the team. Who was Connor? Don't nobody know who Connor is unless you watch football, college football. Then you know who he is. Other than that, you don't know who he is.
Well, James Conner was in Pittsburgh.
A lot of people don't know that. My point. So I'm telling you, y'all, is I don't know. We probably won't beat the Giants because we barely beat them last week. Tyrod Taylor was out there throwing, and we couldn't stop that. And if we can't stop Kyler Murray, you can't stop the quarterback from the Jets. You can't stop. You couldn't stop Brock Purdy this year at all. You had Hassan dropping back 7 times, and Hassan don't want to do it. He wants to come off the edge. Like, y'all are not even using your players to where they need to be, and that's why they all looking out there confused because y'all don't know what's going on. I blame the top. I blame the top. I'm done.
All right, let me we're gonna go through the comments here real quick, and let's see what Wyatt thinks. All right, so E Money says, "What's up, Eagles Elite?" E Money, what it do? He says, "Go Birds." Vicola says, "Eagles diva spitting fire again. It should be common sense." And then, of course, Philly sliding through. I'm here. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. All right, Wyatt, man. I mean, I would hate to be in your position, but what do you think, man?
It's hard to follow both of them. They made a lot of valid points and a lot of points I was going to hit on here, but I'll try to kind of add to that a little bit. I kind of gave the defense a pass over the past couple of weeks with the Giants and the Seahawks because under Patricia, because they looked somewhat decent and reliable in the first half of these games, but it was more so the offense that wasn't able to seal these games. Both against the Giants and the Seahawks, the offense had multiple times to go down and score and put it up by multiple touchdowns to put them out of reach, and they just weren't able to do it. This game, it's inexcusable for the defense. We already talked about how Roby was inactive. He wasn't even there to be backup for Avante, who just came off injury. We know he's injury prone. Why would you raise a roster spot on Penny when he's not even going to play? They're not even going to use him. Even if the offense would have had more opportunities, they weren't still going to use him. Why was he even active? It doesn't make any sense. And like you said, Hassan Reddick dropped back in the coverage more times than he ever has in a single game. And not only Hassan, I saw today there was a couple plays. They had Brandon Graham dropping back. Why the hell you have Brandon Graham dropping back into pass coverage? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then, like you already mentioned, Hassan Reddick, not only him, but Josh Sweat have been invisible for 4 or 5 weeks now. Not a damn sack. I saw the stat. I forget how many sacks they had between like week 1 and week 9 or whatever. But you have 0 sacks in like 5 or 6 weeks from those 2 edge rushers.
So you mean since
creating pressure
since Matt Patricia took over?
Since before that. But yeah, you're right. In
we
the whole
went
Matt
from
Patricia
having
era here, nothing.
allowing 66 run to 156 yards.
Yeah.
That's
went
a
from
big
one
jump.
of the best teams as far as stopping the run to most likely probably dead last in stopping the run after this game against the Cardinals here.
Well, we're actually,
and same with passing.
well,
We've allowed more
we're still,
touchdown
like,
passes than any other team
top
in these
12.
past 5 weeks. Yeah, it's insane. And it's just malpractice. It doesn't seem like you're putting any of these players where they can succeed. You're not even trying to manufacture any sort of pressure with your defensive line whatsoever. You're not putting them in the position to succeed. You're just hoping that Jalen Carter, a rookie, can go in and just get a sack every other play, where it's like he's a rookie. He's never even played this many games in a season. Like we were talking about how tired they are. You have Jordan Davis, who's a second-year player. He's only had one off season to really get into shape for a whole nother season. And then you're relying on a rookie, and you have no depth to help back them up. And everybody's wondering, oh, what happened to Jalen Carter? What happened to Jordan Davis? It's like, what do you mean? There's nobody there to help them out. You're relying on Fletcher Cox, who's near the end of his career. You're relying on Brandon Graham, who's near the end of their career, who only succeeded last year because of how much depth they had on the O-line and how much they were able to create pressure. And that was also most likely masking a lot of the mistakes in the secondary, or at least helping the secondary out last year by making plays, because they weren't giving any of these quarterbacks time to get the ball out. And that's exactly what every single team has been doing to us this season, is getting the ball out as fast as possible. And we have no pressure whatsoever. And last week or a week or so ago, you have Josh Sweat saying, well, I get in so many pressures a game or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're creating pressures, but you're not getting anywhere. It's pretty much like I had so many what ifs out there. Like, that's not a stat. It doesn't mean a damn thing if you're not getting to the quarterback whatsoever. And it's like, it doesn't matter if it's Desai or Patricia. Nobody's putting them in a position to succeed. Whereas, like, at least with Desai, we were seeing some sort of adjustments throughout the game in the second half. Whereas, like, we weren't even seeing adjustments with Patricia. He's just going out and hoping something sticks. And then maybe he's listening to the players, but I feel like the players would have a better idea of what to do than they would if they were actually listening to their suggestions. But I mean, at this point, with how bad this defense is on a consistent basis, you have to hope your offense can come out here and score points at will every single time. You have to hope your offense can come out here and just hope you can just have a shootout and outscore every single opponent you have, where that's not always going to be the case, where you have the offense and you have the pieces you can to do that, but you don't have the play callers or just the fundamentals to even do that. They're not even practicing basic fundamentals. Okay, we were having a problem with, turning over the ball. We haven't seen too many turnovers these past week or so, and you're able to move the ball somewhat consistently as soon as you get it down the middle of the field. We saw a couple good drives these past couple games, but as soon as you get in the red zone, it just seems like they forget how to call plays. It seems like they just forget how to figure what works within this offense. And like Diva said, you have Jalen Hurts, who is he's being pressured more than anybody else in the league right now. He's being blitzed more than any other QB, and they haven't come up with a single solution to help him. You have zero hot routes for him. He's just running around hoping that one of his guys can get open, like it's like backyard football or something. You don't have anybody there for him. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. You have a QB who had a banged up knee all year, and you choose to run him more instead of trying to protect him. It's like they're purposely going out of their way to make it harder for themselves. You're not running out of RPOs like you should be a majority of the time. You have him in shotgun out by himself a majority of the time, unless you have Gainwell or maybe DeAndre Swift, and if it's not the second quarter. It just boggles my mind how every single week we have to sit down and listen to Silly Sierra and he talk about, we're going to, look at the tape. We got to, self-scout, got to get better. We're going to learn from our mistakes. There's a lot to clean up. But every single week we see the same mistakes happening. Nothing is getting fixed. They just keep trying to fit a square peg into a round hole every single week. They're so stubborn that they just want to use their game plan. Their game plan is the best one that they could come up with. They don't want to change it. And that's going to be the fault of this team. You got lucky into 11 wins, or that's pretty much what it is. You got lucky. You got a couple drop passes, QB or two runs out of bounds, a couple miscommunications by the opposing team, and you have 11 wins, where we could easily be sitting at 5 wins, maybe 6 wins, maybe. And just a couple things went our way. The football gods looked down on us for those 10 wins of the season to start out. And at this point, you're figuring out what you should have been fixing this whole time, what we've been talking about since week 1. But no, you wanted to be set in your ways because what? You were winning. It doesn't have to be pretty. We're winning. And look at you, losing 4 out of 5 games. And you're still sitting here saying the same thing about the same problems that could have been fixed weeks ago. And you're 2 weeks away from the playoffs. You're supposed to play a playoff game in 2 weeks, and you're most likely going to get bounced because every single thing you do across the board, unless it's special teams, is predictable. On defense, you're going to get anything against this team. Doesn't matter. You're going to run down their throats. You're going to pass. It used to be just the middle of the field, the donut hole, but it doesn't matter now. It's wide open. Every single team can just throw wherever. They can run wherever. And the offense is just so predictable, it doesn't even matter who you're playing. You could be playing the Cardinals with a terrible defense, and they still going to find ways to stop you because you're running the same plays over and over and over again. QB draws, screens. You throw one slant route to A.J. Brown. He only gets 2 targets in the whole second half of this game. You have Dallas Goedert, who you're not even trying to get the ball to, it seems like most of the time when he's open or he can be open, but you're only giving Jalen maybe 1 or 2 options per play to even throw to. And he's staring them down every single time. Like, and it's like, it's hard to blame Jalen because this is the offense that he's given. And what else is he supposed to do? I know AJ was talking about how they were coming out and he was saying like Sirianni covered up for him the other week, saying that they were playing for the flag. I think it was the Seattle game on that long throw. But apparently they were just out there improvising. Like they were just trying to make up plays to figure out what was going on. It's like that doesn't make us feel better. That just shows you how terrible this team is right now. Like it does. Which is dumber, going out and playing and hoping the refs can save you, or just going out and making up plays going off of the sheet itself? You're not even running a play that's in our offense to hopefully try to win the game. It's just, I don't know, man. This team is a damn mess. And it was like what Key was saying, I don't understand how you have 11 wins and you fall apart like this. And you're expected to play a playoff game in a couple weeks against most likely a mediocre team, which you could easily lose at this point in the season. And at this point, I have no faith in them getting the turn it around, because through 17 weeks, not a damn thing has changed whatsoever.
All right, so run the ball first. All right, Coach Dante says, what up? I want to get to that first.
What up, Coach Dante?
What up, Mo? Mo says,
Coach?
guys, turn that front upside down. Playoffs, everybody is 0-0.
Nah.
That is true statistically. But I'm going to explain some things here. So we were playing against the worst, the very bottom run defense in the entire NFL. And what did we do? Throw the ball. Bubble screens. Quarterback draws, all the same things we always do. There were some times where we ran the ball. But why was Swift not a workhorse? Let me rephrase. Why all season has DeAndre Swift not been a workhorse for the Philadelphia Eagles? The only answers I can come up with is Nikki Tight Pants Sirianni and BJ don't want one back to get the shine, because they're in love with a scat back. They want to be a number 2 back, and the number 2 back doesn't play. But somehow we think that's a good idea. Somehow we think that's how you're going to win championships. Somehow we think that's how basketball is played. Got me so pissed I'm in the wrong sport. We think that's how football is played in December and January. Oh, we're going to play football December, January by throwing the ball and being cute. Bubble screens. You got probably our most consistent receiver injured, trying to block on a bubble screen, and he's no bigger than Diva. Why? Why is he blocking on any plays? You got Jalen Hurts running quarterback draws, and Kenneth Gainwell is his blocker. Why? I'm sitting there watching these plays like, this dude is a bleeping idiot. Like, Nick Sirianni is a freaking idiot.
Supposed to block for him?
I'm like, this dude is stupid. Like, this dude knows nothing about football. Why is he still there coaching? Brian Johnson, I don't care if you're a yes man. I don't care if you don't have a spine. If you don't have sense enough to step up and say, coach, we got to do something different, man. We're going to get these guys killed. We're going to get Jalen hurt. We're going to get Gainwell exploded, and you don't know how to use no other running backs besides Swift, and you won't use Swift, so what we going to do? Put Jalen at running back and put or we're going to put the backup at running back, Mariota at running back? Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
Gainwell does not gain well.
Nah.
He blocks worse than the games.
And he don't gain.
But
he can throw the ball though, apparently, because they want to get cute.
I don't understand these things. You know what, man?
I'm glad that play worked. Because that was still stupid.
Super dumb.
So let's talk about the defense. Okay. Let's talk about the defense. So all year, up until he got put on IR, we had this dude, Alberto. I heard all beginning of the season, all off season when we traded for him. He's a great pass catcher. He's going to be great for you. I said, if he can't block his back catcher, why don't we put him at wide receiver? Why is he a tight end? Then we had a game where we needed him to play. Absolute garbage. I don't know how in the world we got fleeced, but Denver fleeced us. If we gave up a 7th round pick in 2085, they fleeced us for that dude. Straight up. And he was stealing a roster spot from what could have been another defensive tackle or end. What could have been another safety. And speaking of safeties, we got 3. All year we've had 3 active safeties. Y'all know that? At the most. Now we got Byard, the only left safety. Blankenship and Brown are the right safety. So obviously, Brown's got to play both because Byard got to get some snaps on the sideline too. We got 3 left corners. Why is Josh Jobe still on this team? Somebody help me explain why Gallo sucks so bad. Never makes good plays. It's always the one that's getting burnt when he's in the game. We talk about how much my man James Bradbury get burnt. Josh Jobe always gets burnt. He could be there for the play and still get burnt. Why is he still on this team?
The only positive I've seen from him was on special teams. That's it.
But nobody talks about him though. Like we are literally the only people that talk about Josh Jobe. I don't hear nobody else.
Why? Why is he on the Washington team? Why does this organization?
This is why we miss Zach McPherson. He got hurt.
But still, if we don't have McPherson, go out and get somebody.
Same reason why Quay's on the team.
There's got to be somebody. There's got to be somebody on somebody's practice squad, maybe even our own. Let me rephrase that. There is somebody on our practice squad. I don't know who, but if somebody on our practice squad, there's a better left, right, slot, nickel, whatever corner than a Josh freaking Jobe. And every week that he goes out there and you trace him out there and you put him in a uniform and you put him on the field, you're basically saying, we want somebody that sucks to play on this team this week. And that is garbage. I don't know if that's Howie. I don't know if that's silly. I don't know if it's a combination. But whoever it is, stupid.
Well, Howie didn't go find nobody for him. So you got to blame Howie.
Well, there is a practice squad. There's a practice squad. Mario Goodrich would have been a better option. I know, but Mario Goodrich would have been a better option. I believe. Because Josh Jobe is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if I get in better shape, I can go out there and do what he do. I can go out there and get paid to get burnt.
Shit.
And be close to the play. That's all he does.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about him.
I would have rolled with Ben Van Summeren over Morrow too. Morrow's cooked on a weekly basis at this point.
Yes, he is. Van Summer is on the active roster now, but you got to put him in the game. You talk about cornerbacks, Bradbury and Ricks. I said, what did I say week 1? What did I say off season? We go out, we get these guys in the draft, we bring in some young talent. Let's rotate them in, get them some work, and get breaks for Bradbury, get breaks for Slay. What did the defense do? We never got those guys in the game. The one thing I'll give Matt Patricia credit for, this is the only thing, is that he will use the young guys. Now, whether that's a necessity or not. But here's a question for y'all. Rhetorical, of course. Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Jalen Carter. That's all we ever hear about, right? We still got Milton Williams on the team. We still got Nolan Smith on the team. We still got Moro Jomo on the team. Marlon Tupeluto made some good plays when he got an opportunity. He's still on the team. Patrick Johnson on the team. So there's other
Milton
guys.
Williams been playing. He's been playing good.
Right, but what I'm saying is we focus on a certain group of guys. We don't talk about Milton Williams good or bad. We know he played, but I'm saying we don't hear anything about him. We hear about Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Hassan Reddick. Sometimes you hear about Josh Sweat not performing. That's all you really hear about.
Well, they don't put Nolan on the field.
They don't put Nolan on the field. Jomo doesn't ever play. He's a big man. I mean, he's a young guy.
He actually played last week. We wouldn't have known. He played 13 snaps.
But I'm saying if we're in week 17 and we're just starting to see guys week 15, 16, 17 that's been on an active roster the whole season get any real playing time on the field. at a position where we're weak at because we don't have depth. Why? Because there's people in our organization that don't have the sense enough to understand if you're not going to play the guys you got, go get somebody else. Quarterback. We got 3 quarterbacks that are active most weeks. Ain't but one of them ever seen the field, except for 1 or 2 plays when Hurts got hurt. If you don't believe in Mariota, cut him and get him out of here. McKee should be our emergency quarterback. Roster spots. We have a roster spot for Britton Covey, which I don't have a problem with because of what he does on special teams. Do have a problem with Quez Watkins getting an active roster spot every week. That should go to a defensive player.
Yeah.
So we can get 2 or 3 spots that are not being filled to help out the defense, but we don't have guys. Why don't we have guys? Diva said so earlier. Because the person that's making the decisions ain't even got sense enough to say, you know what? There's some problems. Let me go do something about it. Whether it's elevate guys from the practice squad, whatever. We are not doing anything to be better right now than we did week 1. And that's why, like everyone has said, the results are not matching anymore. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. If you want to succeed, you have to at least be in the game. If we go in, let's say something miracle happens. We win our first playoff game. However the things break down, we don't have to play San Francisco in the second round. All right. Say we make it to the NFC Championship game against San Francisco. We got to go to San Francisco and then remember how they whooped our monkey hind parts.
Yeah, they broke my whole spirit.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't been the same.
Right from the game. We haven't been right since. Right from the start on the sideline, they came at us. We haven't been right since.
Yeah.
Nope.
And you knew it was coming.
First 2
they
drives.
Talk about it all off season into the season.
First 2
they
drives.
left everything in Kansas City. We left everything in Kansas City.
Everything. First 2 drives of the game, we had a chance to get touchdowns to settle for goals. After that, San Francisco said, them boys ain't coming to play. Let's whoop them real quick. And that's what they did.
Got no pressure.
Dallas, there was no excuse to go lay another egg. But if you didn't get mad then, you should have been mad after that game. Seattle. Drew Lock looked like he's a Pro Bowler against the Philadelphia Eagles. Game-winning drives, all that. And we talked about last week, you lost to Jonathan Gannon.
He outcoached
you. Let
him,
an idiot
outcoached
beat you.
us. Exactly.
You let a dude beat you that looks like he got his head dumped in the toilet every day from 4th grade until he graduated from college.
This is the dude. This locker room looked at him crazy when he first came in there talking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a dude that
didn't want to be there.
Talking about a bus.
This is a dude that the owner for the Philadelphia Eagles and the GM was like, yo, don't even get on a plane. Just go interview in Arizona. Be gone.
He knew what he was doing.
But
As soon as he kicked that
everybody
onside kick like that.
Yeah, everybody wants to complain about the defense and how we were so much better with Jonathan Gannon. If you gave Sean Desai that defense from last year, I think he would have did better. I'm not going to sit here and say every loss we didn't replace people, but we didn't use the volume like we did last year. We didn't have that line rotating out like we did last year. That's why the sack total went down. You keep those guys fresh, they come in there eating their hungry dogs when they get in the game, they're attacking the quarterback. They're playing 40 minutes a game, they tired.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not rotating them out like you're supposed to. The offense is not running the ball. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the whole season. This is not Patricia. This is the defense in 2023. Because what happened was we didn't have the depth and we didn't rotate. Desai didn't believe in those guys on the end of the bench. He never gave them a chance. He didn't believe in them. Patricia doesn't really believe in the guys on the defensive end on the end of the bench. He doesn't really give them a chance. You don't give them, if you give guys on defensive snaps, if you believe in the guy, you want a guy to develop, he should at least be getting 20, 25 snaps a game. Because he can be playing with all the dominant players and just him. Right? You don't have to put all the backups in together. You just rotate guys in and out. We're not even doing that.
How you expect them to develop?
Right.
How do you expect the other guys to stay fresh?
Yeah.
Nobody goes out there and plays almost 40 minutes on defense besides Philadelphia Eagles. And most weeks it's in the 30s, but it's always high Because when we do score, what do? We got to throw bombs. It's got to be beautiful long plays. It's got to be something that looks fabulous. It's got to be something that's a highlight for SportsCenter. Man, you better get ugly. You better get there and ground that ball 5-10 yards to play. You better take a few steps to the side and then reset your feet, plant, and throw off your back foot like you used to, and drive the ball down the field 5-10 yards.
This will be running around like Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got him out there playing an offense that's not suitable for the intelligence level that he has. And that is on the offensive coaching staff. Mm-hmm. And because he said, this is my playbook, if you want to blame the offense, blame me. Nicky Tight Pants Sirianni, it's on you. Other people have contributed to it. And the last thing I want to say, because we only got an hour, Jalen Hurts, you're the play caller. We'll find all the stuff out about how there's times when you go out and you make changes, you audible. I don't care what comes from the side. To win the game, I am not running 2 quarterback draws. And I want to tell you something else, Mr. Hurts. You're still the quarterback. You're still behind the line of scrimmage. You know what that means? You can throw the ball away. Not slide down 5 yards behind the line. You throw the ball away. Way to help us. Yeah. In a critical moment.
Don't just
you got to be better.
Slide or fall down.
You got to be better too. Get rid of the ball. If there's nothing, throw the ball away. Throw it at somebody's feet if you got to.
Oh, he
get out
of
the pocket and throw it out of bounds.
Yeah. You don't do that.
You got to start doing those things. That's what I'm saying. You got to start doing those
Nick
things.
Foles out there, looking like Nick Foles.
You got to start doing those things, man.
Yeah.
You got to be better for us too. We need more.
You see what happens, and we know Jalen Hurts has the talent. We see what happened. We saw exactly what he was able to do with a competent offensive coordinator and game planner. I mean, you've seen it all around the league. What happens when you lose a decent offensive coordinator? I mean, look at Dak. We had the most interceptions last year. Looked bad. Lose their offensive coordinator. They were actually able to get him right. Josh Allen, another one. He looked terrible after Brian Daboll left. They had to go out and get him someone else.
I feel
same thing.
But here's the problem. You elevated somebody from the staff. So all you really had to do was continue to use the same plays, make some adjustments, make some adaptations, make it your own. But you never allowed your coordinator to make it his own. You forced a stupid playbook, an elementary playbook from a rudimentary brain on him and said, you got to call from the idiot playbook.
Yeah.
I bet if we go get playbook for I bet if we go and get the playbook for dummies, I guarantee you 2/3 of those plays are in there.
But that comes from the top because you knew that in 2021. So why would you allow him to do that? That still comes from Jeff Lurie and Harry Roseman.
I feel like
there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
I feel like that he made it seem as if Brian Johnson was going to be doing what he wanted to do. And then
still
he got in there.
If you see what's going on now, it still comes from the top, and you still allow it. You've allowed it for 17 weeks. It's still comes from the top.
During the game,
they're not going to make a. They're not. Yeah, he's overruling him, and they're not going to make a change during the season to the coordinator on the offensive side of the ball, because you're not going to get anybody else that's going to come in there and call these playbooks. Nobody else is going to come in and do that. No one else is going to come in this organization and say, "I'll call these stupid plays. I know they're not going to work, and it's going to hurt our quarterback." No one else is going to do that.
Yeah. But that's when you have the situation this week during a press conference. They were asked Brian Johnson, like, could you have been more aggressive on that last drive? He's like, well, that's not really a question I can answer. Like, that's not I can't answer that. And they asked Nick the same thing. He's like, yeah, I should have been more aggressive. I should have called something. Like, so Nick is calling the plays in these situations. He's
overruling him way too much.
Exactly. So it seems like Brian Johnson's calling a decent offense until, like we were saying, we get down to the red zone or whatever, and that's where Nick takes over, and that's where we're getting these QB draws, these screens, everything that's not working in the red zone. It seems like this is all Nick. It's that dumbass offense that we're getting in 2021.
I want to go back to the Dolphins game because honestly, that was maybe one of our best defensive and maybe offensive games I saw this year. Can we go back to that defense?
Yeah.
Can we go back
to that defense because we don't feel like the coordinator can do the job, so we gave it to another guy that nobody wants to be the coordinator.
But then you can't really say you blame it on Matt Patricia because he's still using Sean Desai's plays. He's not even using his own.
But that's stupid. I know that's stupid. Well, it's stupid because you knew you couldn't install another playbook. It's too late in the season for that. You knew that. So why depose him as defensive coordinator? Because you tried to make him the scapegoat, but then nothing got better.
Yeah. But things were working when he was adjusting. I mean, look at the first Dallas game, the Miami game, and the Chiefs game. They scored less than 10 points in the whole second half of those games.
The Rams
Like,
game too. They shut down Cooper Kupp.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like they were able to adjust to these second half. So like why was it working for a certain amount of a period of time, and then it just stopped working all of a sudden? Like it just
Well, I
doesn't make
think
any sense.
because they got tired. They got tired.
Yes.
You're not
They got tired,
switching
yeah.
them out. You don't got no depth. They got tired.
They got
Yeah.
They
tired.
used to playing all these hard games.
And
They
then
tired.
3 and out. Three
Yeah.
passes and out. Three
And you
passes
always
and out.
playing-
on field.
What we were saying,
Three
like,
passes,
it's
one
not an
lucky catch.
excuse.
Another
It's
3
not an
passes.
excuse, but yeah, Dallas, what was Dallas, Bills, and then Chiefs, was it, that had like that they had an extra couple of days of rest. Each one of those teams had an extra couple of days rest when we were going back to back to back to back.
And it wouldn't
Right.
even matter though, because we don't, even in the game, we don't give guys breaks.
Don't
If you're
Exactly.
on defense, if you're on defense, like, oh, just go out there and play the whole game. Oh, you're bad. The defense needs to get better.
You might come out for a play or two. Like that's really gonna help you.
yeah.
How about the offense hold the ball and give us a break?
That
So
too.
before we digress completely
Exactly.
into madness, the weekly recap for the Cardinals game, the game sucked.
Trash.
We allowed them to never have to punt the football. Embarrassing. We did get a touchdown. And everybody wants to talk about how, we got 31 points and 31 points from the offense.
Defense
No,
scored
the
one.
offense did not give you 31 points. 7 of those points came on a pick six, a 99-yarder by Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown should have been playing more a year. I've been saying it since before the season started. You watch talent, you understand talent.
Normally, you
That's
should be
all we
super
really need to say
excited to
about
have
that.
your team up 21-6 at halftime, but I knew exactly what the hell was going to happen in that second half.
It
I
happens
think we
every
all
game.
knew
We
exactly
only
what was going
played
to happen.
a half at the most. Elite performance of the game. Diva, who's your elite performer? If you don't have one, you can just say you don't have one. All right.
I'm gonna go with Swift.
Key, who you got?
Julio.
Wyatt, who you got?
Yeah, I mean that's the only person I could really go with is Julio. Julio.
I'm gonna go with Sid the Kid. All right. Weakest link. Key, who you
The
got?
defense.
Everybody on the defense.
Yeah,
There's
whole
no-
defense.
There's no way. It's you give up 200 some odd yards on the ground. So it goes to the whole defense.
Nick
Okay, well, you
Sirianni.
said defense. Yeah, the offense, the OCs, the coaches.
Yeah. The coaches.
All right. And then game of the week versus the New York Football Giants. So one thing I want to say before we talk about this. So we're playing like doodle juice. Terrible, right? I mean, let's be honest, terrible. This horrible out there. It's heartbreaking to watch. Like you got to be out somewhere. Like I go to the sports bar and watch the game because I'm laughing, talking with other people, out with the homies and stuff. Because if I sit at home and watch the games, both of my hands might be broken now. Honestly, you don't know. You just get mad and you don't even know what happened. So
Listen.
to have the nerve to be so stupid, and this of course is about Sirianni again, to be so stupid to get on camera and say anything's on the table, including resting guys. The offense has been rested for a long time.
They took half that game off.
They only
against
played
Cardinals.
19 last game.
Right,
They rested.
right.
We're not gonna try to get right before the playoffs start. That's how you rolling, Nick. That's why I want you fired, because you're stupid. You know, and they may put another next yes man in there, but maybe the same thing will happen. The first year will be all right. The second year we'll get to the Super Bowl, maybe win it, and then he'll turn to idiot and get rid of him too. But this guy's not going to improve. This guy is not going to get better.
Mm-mm. He
The
Chip Taylor
choices that he
2.0.
tries to make, for coordinators are worse than what got Doug Peterson fired.
We gotta go outside
And-
the organization for coordinators. It can't be
Yeah.
in-house no more. I'm
Exactly.
sorry. It can't be in-house. You can't have your buddies be coordinators like Brian
we did
Johnson
have
is with Jalen Hurts. No, you don't need your
we
buddy at
did have
coordinator.
we did have a legit coordinator, defensive coordinator option within the organization. We wouldn't promote him. We went outside for that. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. But Key, you are our guest, so we're gonna start with you. Who do you have winning the Eagles-Giants game? We don't even do scores because we know it's gonna be close. Because ain't no such thing as a blowout in the Eagles.
Might get beat.
I said this on 7,200 seconds with me and Dante. I picked the Giants. I said I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants beat us. Why? Because we're content with playing with the fifth seed. You know, anything could happen. Because some reason Washington always played Dallas hard. They last game. They did it last year. So why not just go out there and fight for a win? And maybe the football gods bless us and Dallas loses and we got number 2. But we'll maybe during the week I'll change my mind to saying we're going to win because God forbid I picked the Eagles all year long to beat. You know, I know we wasn't going to go 17-0, but I'm just like, you know what, we got a chance. I'm gonna pick us this week. I want to pick us this week. It's like 50-50. I don't know what's going to happen. Is that AJ Riley speech maybe going to come around and the guys get behind and go out there and do something? Who knows? But I don't need them to rest. I don't, because I want to stay. I want to win this week. So, but I'm still gonna pick the Giants for now.
Diva.
Man, I don't know. I mean, because we literally barely beat them a week and a half ago. Barely. I mean, and they switched 2 quarterbacks, y'all. Like, they had Danny DeVito's nephew in there, and then they put Tyrod Taylor in there, and like he was throwing, and we got no pressure.
We looked like Mike Vick 2.0.
Right, absolutely flat against a 3-12 team. So I'm not too confident that all of a sudden Nick Sirianni and Matt Patricia are gonna turn it on and understand football, because they don't understand football. Like, they just don't. Period. So I mean, I honestly don't know, because we had a number 1 seed and look what happened. Like, we just let that mug you almost had it, but you got to do better. So I'm not really confident at all. I just want the season to end so we can start drafting and getting it right and figure out what we're going to do with this offense and this defense, because we're not going to go nowhere. Like, if Nick has not, well, we already know Nick not going to change, because you got to go back to 2021 and remember how we looked the exact same because Nick was calling the plays. And as soon as he brought his coordinators in there, look what happened. So we're not going to change. So we might as well just go and get ready and go and sit down with the rest of them and get it together in the offseason, because we ain't going nowhere. We're going to be exited round 1 if we make round 1. We definitely going to be going round 2.
We're going to be the first one buying the snacks for everybody.
Mm-hmm. How crazy would it be if it just goes full circle like 2021 and we had to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round, and it was going the exact same way because of Nick Sirianni doing the same stuff?
And we could definitely lose to them. Definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
easily.
Baker Mayfield, he looked all right when we played him the first time a few weeks ago. So I'm just not confident at all. At all. We need a whole new coaching staff. Period. Because like they said, you got a few coaches that sucked their first year, but they got it together. Nick is a 3-year coach. He should be a lot better than he was in 2021. And as you see, it wasn't Nick last year. Nick just knew how to get the team together in the locker room and get them hype. But as far as being a leader on that sideline and knowing how to call plays and run his offense if the other person can't do it, that's not him. He's an X and O guy. Or he is a shotgun quarterback, like he was all right with Brissett. But that's not Jalen. So he's not right for Jalen. Period. So if you're going to keep him, then you need to go get an OC and let Brian Johnson go back to being the QB coach. I'm fine with that.
You'd have to fire him. He don't go back to being the QB coach. Wyatt, who you got?
Man, if we play in starters, we win 27-24. If we play the backups, we losing. Don't matter. I don't care what the score is. We losing if we play in backups.
The starters need to play. We don't have any reason to rest. I'm going to believe in my team. I'm going to say we're going to win the game. This is the last chance before the playoffs to show something. So you shouldn't even be thinking about no resting people or pulling people early. None of that. We look like trash.
Yeah.
AJ Brown apologized to the team. I don't understand what he really apologized for because I don't see anything wrong. But maybe he felt like that would help galvanize the team. The leaders on the team believe in the team. I don't think anybody believes in the coaching staff. I think AJ just kind of helped Nick out a little bit, try to make Nick look a little bit better in the media's eye. No, you can't fix him. He sucks. We're not gonna give him any love. We're not gonna give him any respect. You're garbage. You're stupid. Your playbook is elementary. Everybody knows what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I could have a little kid that's like 5 or 6 sit down and watch a few other Eagles plays and be like, oh, they'll know what he's doing. Because that's simple. You're an NFL head coach. You shouldn't be that simple. Maybe you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be simple, Nikki Tight Pants, Siliani, because you're that simple.
I saw a ton of Eagles fans after like the whole AJ press conference today saying like, man, after that, just got me hyped, it makes me believe again, whatever. And I was like, for what? One person
always
talking to me,
believe.
it doesn't change a damn thing on this team whatsoever.
I said this.
Like,
I always
doesn't make a
believe.
difference.
I'm gonna always believe, but I'm gonna be realistic in my belief.
Yeah.
Can we turn around? Yeah, because there's enough talent to turn around. Are we going to? That's the question. This is the last chance to try. I don't know if it's gonna work now or not. We'll see. But I think we can win the game. But it's gonna be tough to do anything unless they can go on one of those Giants runs from the year they won the Super Bowl over the Patriots. It's got to be something magical.
Yeah.
I just
I
want
just don't see
a
us drastically
competent front
changing.
office. That's all. That's all. We just want some competency. Somebody that's smart. We got incompetent people right now on our staff.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was
it's
inviting
hard to
how
believe
we
that we're going to
took
see a
the
different
cookout.
team from this point to the first game of the playoffs.
Yeah, when everybody was inviting Howard to cook out and everything, I was like, he could come get a plate.
We
But he
haven't
can't
had that
stay and talk to
status check
nobody.
in a while. He out?
Howie better not come on the block.
Yeah, Howie out. Howie better not. He better not
Gonzo.
even circle the block. Better not even circle the block.
You have a
Yeah, you
poster
better
with his
stay in
face
your-
up. Do not serve this man.
You better stay away right now. But in true Eagles fans fashion, because y'all know how I am, New York Giants.
Just bring it, bitch!
Yeah, we own y'all. Don't matter. Y'all poverty franchise.
And also, yes. And also, y'all know what's coming next. Now, hopefully, next week we're not playing this one.
You're last!
Yo, was not ready for that one.
Yo, and before, this is how I feel about the coaching staff right now.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do
It's
it.
okay. Can't do it.
Can't do
Can't
it.
do it.
I'm surprised AJ Brown didn't come out and say that today.
Yo, I'm gonna have to get Mike Singletary for my own clipping. I forgot all about that one.
I
Can't
never
do it.
forget. I never forget. So shout out to Shady Sports Network, man. If you saw us on Shady Sports Network, you hopped on. Appreciate you. If you haven't, check out Shady Sports Network, man. Home for all things football, other things as well, but all things football, man. IFL, AFL, all those leagues, the new United Football League, everything. It's a place to get all your information, coaches interviews, all that good stuff. We didn't get to play the ad today because I got a little carried away, but it's all good. It's not the first time it happened, won't be the last. But yeah, so let's quickly go around. Everybody, if you have one last thing you want to say, we'll start with you, Key. We'll swing around. Tell them where to find you. One last thing, if you have anything, and then we out.
I know my motto: run the dang ball. But at this point, I'm tired of saying it. You should already know. Run the dang. Just get it. Just score. Just win. I'm about to use the Raiders tagline. Just win. Just win. And I know y'all can always find me, Key in the building. I'm not hard to find. I'm all over the place.
Man, all I got to say is we'll see y'all next week. You can find me on any social media streaming platform. You can find me on any podcast, the Black Light Mass Incarceration Show. I'm on YouTube, everywhere. Follow me.
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say is please just get a stop on third down. Please. Just a couple times. Like maybe just once at least. Just please help us out. Help us out a bit. Just have some consistency on offense. But yeah, I mean, you can find me pretty much anywhere: Twitter, Instagram at Wide Regard, and my other show, Cinema Trip Reviews, on YouTube and pretty much wherever you get your podcasts.
We lost to Jonathan Gannon. I don't even want to talk about what you can find. We lost to Jonathan Gannon. I'm done. We out.